What's up, guys? It's Benny. This is a video that I hoped I would never have to do, but here we are. The DOJ has arrested somebody who was trying to kill me, or at the very least, they said they were. And when somebody says who they are, you should believe them, especially in instances like this. I'm kind of tired of seeing my president get shot in the head, my best friends get shot on a live stream. I'm tired of watching children get killed praying in church. And I'm really, really tired of the left-wing political violence in our country. Here's the arrest warrant for George Russell Isbell Jr. of San Diego. This individual sent a communication to my home that said that I would get my head blown off just like Charlie, and that they would take great joy in orphaning my children, widowing my wife. Listen, I'm aware that people say a lot of garbage. I'm aware that people make a lot of threats. We weren't going to take this lying down. You shouldn't ignore this kind of stuff if somebody does this to you. There are a lot of people on the internet that are like, I get threats all the time. Okay, well, bring them up. Our first call after getting this letter was to the Tampa Police Department. They eventually sent it off to a lab, and they were able to get a DNA match. And this individual, once arrested by the FBI, confessed to sending this letter to me. And so this is the FBI special agent effectively describing how this threatening communication, given the subsection of U18 U.S. Code 867C. This says mailing threatening communications. It's a 10-year penalty for mailing threatening communications saying you're going to kill someone, right? So you're not free. I'm a free speech absolutist. You're not free to incitement. You are not free to terrorism of other people, right? So people shouldn't live in fear because you keep threatening to kill them. Obviously, this is something that has happened to us throughout our entire career, but, we've taken it very seriously every single time. This time, something happened, and I'm really thankful for that. Anyway, this is what's been going on. This is the actual filing here. My name is redacted, but we did a public press conference about it, and so we might as well just have a chat here on the channel about what happened. This is the letter here. You can see this was taken by the police as soon as we got the letter. We called the police. And it says here, the saddest part about your drivel is contamination of your minds. Maybe someone will blow your head off. We can only hope. Planning any public engagements? Love to see your head explode. Blood-stained concrete red. What a sight. It seems pretty obvious here what they want. He calls me Charlie Kirk Jr. Says, I'm sick of you white cis Christian whiners spewing hate. White MAGA podcasters, revolting racists, the guy says. So it's pretty clear that he hates my race. He hates my political ideology. He hates, everything that God made me. Maybe it's because he hates himself, ladies and gentlemen. It says here that victim one, that would be me, stated that his wife received the letters. Family received threats on a regular basis, but once Charlie Kirk, his friend, was murdered, he takes these threats more seriously, and this is all true, of course. Felt the threat was directed at him and his family, and I plan to move in the near future, and stated that his current residence is publicly available online. And that is a matter of fact. On or about September 15th, FBI coordinated with the United States Postal Inspection to determine the original location of the mailing letter. They found out that the letter was posted back to San Diego. And they retraced that. They were able to, from their labs, find DNA evidence of an individual. Then they actually did a raid on this individual. The envelope came back as a match of individual one. And Tampa conducted a baseline to determine that this was, in fact, the residence. And based on the probable cause, they got the arrest warrant and raided this individual and George Isbell, who, listen, I'm not going to talk about him, but you can look it up. It's all over the internet. Doesn't seem like a great dude. According to things that just people are finding about his record, this individual would certainly have the capacity, as far as I'm concerned, to do something really bad, right? He seems like a bad hombre, as they would say. Listen, I don't want to call myself a martyr. I'm not sitting here to say like everybody should feel like I'm some victim and walk around eggshells, right? And weep and cry. What I'm trying to say here is that you should take this kind of stuff seriously. It shouldn't be allowed. being a parent is hard enough, man. It's tough to be a parent of little kids. I love it, but like, you don't need to do it under terroristic threat that your kids are that you're going to be killed. I don't know what the hell's going on, particularly with the left, but I'm tired of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's what we've been out preaching, and we've been calling for Democrats to disavow this. Obviously, none of them have. But Gavin Newsom, I want to throw down the gauntlet. Where the hell are you, dude? He wants to run for president. Here's a Californian threatening my life, and he doesn't say nothing, right? No communication, no text message, no way to reach me. He had Charlie on his show like a couple months ago, right? Charlie gave him a great kindness and went on his program, to his little podcast. Yet this dude won't, even disavow this violence. It's a remarkable evil. Here we are talking about it on Fox News, fresh after it happened. We had a press conference with Pam Bondi, obviously. A pretty quick press conference, just got to sort of speak our piece and move on. But here's our Fox News hit, taking it to the next level and describing what we want to see next.
Tonight, the biggest problem inside the Democrat Party isn't bad messaging, terrible fundraising, or poor leadership, though they have that in spades. It's that many in the party have become increasingly radical and open to violence. In just the latest example, a man was arrested on Tuesday for threatening to kill conservative influencer Benny Johnson. Watch this.
We've been living through a horrific cycle of political violence in this country. We've seen attacks against police officers, federal agents, including the deadly shooting in the ICE facility in Dallas. Just days after Charlie's assassination, Benny received a letter at his home where he and Kate are raising their beautiful, beautiful young family. The author of this letter made it very clear that he hated Benny because of his views, and he wanted Benny dead. You are not going to get away with threatening people in this way. And I'm proud to announce that we have arrested the author of this letter, and we are charging him federally with mailing threatening communications. It is a crime, and if convicted, he is going to prison.
Joining us now with reaction is podcast host Benny Johnson. Benny, thank you for joining us tonight. So first of all, walk us through getting this letter. When was it and where were you when you got it?
Yes, Charles, thank you so much for having me on. We received this letter at my home. The letter described in great detail exactly how they were going to kill me, how I was going to die, and how they would orphan my children and widow my wife, just like they did to my friend exactly 1 month ago today, as we all watched a great man, a generational talent, and what I believe would have been a future president, Charlie Kirk, get shot and killed on a live stream. Approximately 1 year ago, Charlie, we watched President Trump take a bullet to the head. Members of the MAGA movement get killed there in front of their families. 2 months ago, we watched a church filled with praying children get shot up by a left-wing radical. A couple of weeks ago, we watched a left-wing radical shoot up an ICE facility. These are extremists, they say, Charles. But are they really that extreme? My argument is that they are now mainstream in the Democrat Party, and I can prove it. In your beloved state of Virginia, the Democrats in that state are nominating for the top law enforcement official a man who did exactly what was done to my family, criminally threatened to kill Republicans, to slaughter their children, simply because they are Republican. They called him little fascist. This man's name is Jay Jones, and he's running for the attorney general position in Virginia right now. Will any Democrat have the bravery to say, we denounce political violence so much that we're going to call for him to drop out? That's exactly what you should do if you are a moral party and if you care about the lives of American children. And so the gauntlet has been thrown down today, and I'm just profoundly thankful for the Trump administration for locking up one of these psychotic and dangerous left-wing radicals.
Well, forget a moral party. If you were just a moral human or just a human, you would reject all of this. And, sadly, you go through all that, and perhaps even more alarming to me is that there are actual public opinion polls that show an alarming number of Democrat voters who are kind of slow to reject this stuff as well. Why do you think that this sort of assassination ideation thing mindset has managed to grip so many on the left?
Yes. Well, one, it comes from party leadership. Where is Barack Obama? Where is Hillary Clinton? Where is Nancy Pelosi? Where are the leaders of the Democrat Party saying, no, we're not going to allow somebody who fantasizes and fetishizes the killing of Republican children to become the top law enforcement official? We're going to denounce them. Where is that leadership? Where are they when it comes to the attacks on ICE facilities? I was in Chicago and Portland with Kristi Noem over the last 7 days, and I saw constant attacks against our federal law enforcement officers. It is a truly sunken state, but I would argue that Republicans just have so much more to live for. We have families, we have churches, we have communities, we have children, we have God. And really, ultimately, it is a question of godliness versus godlessness, darkness versus light, good versus evil. It's the eternal battle, and it is a battle that is truly spiritual in nature. And I want to give to your audience a Bible verse that has really been profound for me, that was sent to me by a friend in the administration, from Joshua, that says, "Be strong and courageous. Do not be afraid. Do not be discouraged. For the Lord your God will be with you wherever you go." God is the author of life and death. It is time for us to stand up and be courageous. Satan is here to steal, kill, and destroy, and we will defeat evil.